Today is the 108th of the Obama administration. In the past 3 months, President Obama has taken steps to help troubled sectors, including the housing, banking, and financial industries.
I signed into law the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act, the most sweeping economic recovery plan in history. Because of this plan, 3.5 million Americans will now go to work doing the work that America needs done. We are implementing a plan to allow lenders to work with borrowers to refinance or restructure their mortgages.
Wall Street may be more comforted by an approach that gives bank bailouts with no strings attached and that holds nobody accountable for their reckless decisions. But such an approach won't solve the problem.
The road ahead will be long, but I promise you that every day that I go to work in the Oval Office, I carry with me your stories. And my administration is dedicated to alleviating your struggles and advancing your dream.
But it is now clear that we're heading in the right direction. It's now clear that day by day, project by project, we are making progress. We're doing what we've always done in this country.
The White House has also announced plans to move forward with other domestic issues that rank on the top priorities for American voters, such as education, health, and energy sustainability.
There's no longer doubt that the jobs and industries of tomorrow will involve harnessing renewable sources of energy. The only question is whether America will lead that future. I believe we can and we will.
We will start by doing a little housekeeping, going through our books, cutting wasteful education programs. But Secretary Duncan will use only one test when deciding what ideas to support with your precious tax dollars. It's not whether an idea is liberal or conservative, but whether it works. Equal pay isn't just an economic issue for millions of Americans and their families. It's a question of who we are and whether we're truly living up to our fundamental ideals.
We'll computerize the nation's health records in 5 years, saving billions of dollars in healthcare costs and countless lives. And we'll protect health insurance for more than 8 million Americans who are in danger of losing their coverage during this economic downturn.
100 days later, President Obama still stands by his promise of change and continues to deliver his message for a better America for all.
The system we have now might work for the powerful and well-connected interests that have run Washington for far too long, but I don't. I work for the American people.
And I am committed to fixing our broken immigration system in a way that upholds our traditions as a nation of laws, but also as a nation of immigrants.
Juan Carlos, you gave the president a not-so-great grade on domestic policy and noted that he was expanding the size of government. And during his 100 days news conference, he said, look, I don't want to have the government owning pieces of companies. I don't want to be bailing out car companies and banks. And when the emergency is over, we'll go back to the old business as usual. Do you not take him at his word?
I don't take him as his word. I mean, public spending is very inflexible. Once you expand spending, it's very hard to take it back because then you create pressure groups that want that spending to remain in place and even expand it. So that's why I'm very skeptical. But I want to talk about one of the statements that President Obama said in this video. It was said like it doesn't matter whether an idea is conservative or liberal, it's whether it works, and referring to education. Well, precisely, we're here in Washington, D.C., and there was a report by the Department of Education about the great advancements that the D.C. voucher program has made for kids here in the district. That report was hidden by Mr. Obama's Department of Education, and because they wanted to kill the D.C. voucher program, and they eventually did. So it shows how, from rhetoric, yes, they talk about a non-ideological approach to policy, but in practice, this is one of the most driven ideological administrations in recent decades.